Shalom Akim. This is your brother Dawadah coming with another lesson. And I want to say Ka Allah Yahweh Bashim Al Shai Rakakadash. Those that might not know the name of the Heavenly Father, his name is Yahweh, who they ignorantly calls God. His true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh, which means he is, he exists, or he is to be, which we call on in the name Bashem, which Bashem means in the name, the only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His true name is Yahweh Shai, which translate into he save, he deliver. And it goes Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Rakakadas, which is the Holy Spirit, which is Rakakadash. And I want to give double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops at Great Millstone that taught us this truth, the 100% truth, and ruled well into the men that taught them. I would like to say peace and blessings to the elect, the hopefully elect, which is the 144,000 who will be the prophets today. And also that 1/3, which is that great multitude of men, women, and children the Heavenly Father is going to have mercy on. And you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we are the true Hebrew Israelites according to the Holy Scriptures. In this lesson, we're going to be let the dead bury the dead. Because the reason why I'm making this video is recently some, I can't really go into detail, but some occurred this week, was, dealing with on a person's employment job, you know what I'm saying? So what does the Most High say? You know what I'm saying? The Most High say, you know what I'm saying? Let the bed bury the bed, you know what I'm saying? Don't worry about the things of this world, you know what I'm saying? Carry on with this truth, and keep on pushing. Let me go to Luke, start off with Luke chapter 9, verse 57. And it came to pass that as they went in the way, a certain man said unto him, Lord, Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, I will follow thee, whithersoever thou goes. You see? So this is pretty much happening with when the Akim hear this word, you know what I'm saying? It's pleasing to the spirit. And when we first heard this word, you know what I'm saying, if you was walking by a camp, or you stumbled across a video on on YouTube, or wherever, on TikTok or wherever, this word resonated with your spirit and it just automatically clicked, you know what I'm saying? And his sheep is going to hear his voice. It's going to automatically, follow what he say do, and the Most High touched our spirit and we heard this truth, you know what I'm saying? Immediately, you know what I'm saying? We pretty much, just started following Yahweh Bashem Al Shai with no hesitation, you know what I'm saying? And which the scriptures say, I will follow the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, whether soever, you know what I'm saying, thy goes, you know what I'm saying? Let me continue with the verse, verse 58. And Yahweh Shai said unto him, fox have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of the Man have not where to lay his head, So Yahweh Shai, he basically, he didn't have a place to rest his head. You know what I'm saying? This verse is basically letting you know Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. You know what I'm saying? It's not in one place. You know what I'm saying? As you can tell, Yahweh Shai was going from town to town. You know what I'm saying? Pushing this truth. Preaching the truth. Wherever he went. Verse 59. And he said unto another, follow me. But he said, Lord, Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, suffer me first to go and bury my father. And what did he say? He said, unto another, follow me. You know what I'm saying? And you see, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Al Shai didn't have, like in verse 58, he didn't have nowhere to go. And this is going to be us in this latter days. You know what I'm saying? We're going to, once all hell break loose, we're going to be in the same situation. We're not going to have nowhere to go. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be going from, place to place. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you know what I'm saying, we can rest our head, you know what I'm saying? We can go to the little ass apartments that we own, even these homes, you know what I'm saying, that we rent, or you know what I'm saying, or have mortgages on. They ain't super big. They small, just probably just a little bigger than an apartment. But we're gonna be just like your house shop. We ain't gonna have nowhere to go, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to be led by the spirit, you know what I'm saying? You know, where it tells us to go, where it's gonna tell us to go, you know what I'm saying? You know. And wherever we say go, we're gonna need to go, you know what I'm saying, by the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. But he said, the Lord suffered me first to go bury my father. Yeah. And this is what Yahweh Shai said to him. You know what I'm saying? Verse 60. Yahweh Shai said unto him, let the dead bury the dead, but go thou and preach the kingdom of the Most High. You see? So this is what, Yahweh Shai said do, you know what I'm saying? This is what we are commanded to do, you know what I'm saying? So basically these people that's in this dead state of mind, they're gonna continue to follow what the world say do, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna drop everything and follow Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because the spirit is not on them, you know what I'm saying? And this is directed to the people in this world, you know what I'm saying? Let them go bury the dead, you know what I'm saying? And that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna ponder it on, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be worrying about what everybody do in this world, We have to let the dead bury the dead and keep pushing this truth, you know what I'm saying? No matter what. We don't need to worry about what, you know, the nigga do, you know what I'm saying? Like Pookie and Ray Ray, you know what I'm saying? Let them go on and be manipulated, you know what I'm saying, by following the ways of this world, you know what I'm saying, instead of doing what Yahweh Shema Shai said do. We don't need to worry about that. We have to stay on this we have to stay focused on this straight and narrow path, you know what I'm saying? Because when the time comes, we're gonna see, you know what I'm saying, a lot of deaths. It's gonna be all kind of deaths around us, man. So it's best for you to build up your faith now, you know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna be seeing, little kids, put to death. Their body's gonna be on the ground dead. You're gonna see, pretty much dead animals, all kind of things, man. But what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to stay focused and not get distracted. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we say, you know what I'm saying, let the dead bury the dead, and stay focused in this truth and keep pushing it. Because that's what's gonna be important, you know what I'm saying? Verse 61, and another also said, the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, I will follow thee, but let me first go bid them farewell, which are at home at my house. Yeah. So you see, we have other camps, say, I will follow you, but let me do this first, you know what I'm saying? Let me get right back on track, you know what I'm saying, with this truth, you know what I'm saying? But you can't do that, you know what I'm saying? You can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You can't have 1 foot in this world and 1 foot out of this world, you know what I'm saying? You have to stay focused in this truth. But you see a lot of these camps, they done sold out. They've been bought. And what they do, they just going on and they basically, took that bribe, you know what I'm saying? Instead of them, staying focused, they weren't about, the things of this world. And in verse 62 is going to let you know. And Yahushua said unto him, no man, having put his hand to the plow and looking back, is fit for the kingdom of the Most High. Yeah. So once this truth is embedded in your mind, you know what I'm saying, you have to keep looking forward, man, not looking back. And that was the same thing with Lot, you know what I'm saying, wife, you know what I'm saying? She had in Sodom and Gomorrah, she had all these possessions. She had all this materialistic stuff. She was living really, lavish and good and everything. And her mind was fixated on that, you know what I'm saying? So what she did, what she do? She turned around and looked back, and Most High gave her turned her into a pillar of dust. You know what I'm saying? So that's the same thing with us, man. We can't be worrying about the little things of this world, man. Even if whatever you have, materialistic stuff, you know what I'm saying? Homes, cars, trucks, that's real nice. Don't worry about that. You're gonna get tenfold in the kingdom, man. You're going to get 100-fold. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get everything that you want and everything you desire, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me go to Philippians chapter 3, verse 13. And it says, brethren, I count not myself to have apprehend, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching for unto those things which are before. Yeah. So you see, this is what we're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Not worry about the things of this world. You see, and most of these people, man, in this world, they just getting along. They just going along to get along, man. You know, they worrying about what people are gonna say. You know what I'm saying? If they hurt their feelings, if you follow, you know what I'm saying, you know, what's right, you know what I'm saying? And that's this word, that's this truth, you know what I'm saying? If you follow Yahweh Shem Shai, you know, that's important, you know what I'm saying? Don't worry about trying to follow what this world is doing, you know what I'm saying? Because what this world is going to do, they're just going to conform to this world, you know what I'm saying? And that's what the scriptures say. Don't renew your mind. Don't conform to this world. Paraphrasing. You know what I'm saying? Verse 14. I press towards the mark for the prize of the high calling of the Most High, Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. So, you know, this is important. You know what I'm saying? This is what we are looking forward to. You know what I'm saying? That prize. You know what I'm saying? Through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shem Shai. Sometimes you might have to get it. You know, give up time spending with, you know what I'm saying, your family, your kids, you know what I'm saying, you know, working, you know, tons of hours on your job, you know what I'm saying? This right here is the whole duty of man, pushing this word, pushing this truth, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing when you pledge in the game, when a young cat pledge in the game, you know what I'm saying? It's blood up, blood in and blood out, you know what I'm saying? So it's a sacrifice, you know what I'm saying? So like I said again, you have to let the dead bury the dead. So you can't be you know what I'm saying, you can't be on point with everything in this truth, but but then you got your mind, you know, worrying about, you know, what's going on in this world, you know. And that's not how things work, you know what I'm saying? So the best thing is you know, put your all into this truth, you know, and allow Yahweh Shem Shai to gather your spirit, you know what I'm saying? Because he doesn't have to have mercy on you, you know what I'm saying? And in the meantime, you have to repent, you know, and come back to Yahweh Shem Shai, you know, like the scriptures say in Luke 9:62, you know what I'm saying? Don't turn back, don't look back, you know what I'm saying? Keep pressing forward, you know, because that's going to be the important thing, you know what I'm saying? No matter what, you know. Verse 16. Nevertheless, whereto we have already attained, let us walk by the same rule. Let us mind the same thing. Yeah. And this certain is Yahweh Shai. This certain man is Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? In the scriptures, verse 17. Brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk so as ye have us for an example. You know what I'm saying? So you see, that is why we have to patiently wait. You know what I'm saying? The kingdom of heaven is at hand, you know? And that's what we're doing. We're waiting, you know what I'm saying? We patiently wait, you know what I'm saying? Sighing and crying, you know what I'm saying? For all abominations of Babylon the Great, you know? Verse 18, for many walk of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Mashiach, you know what I'm saying? And like I said again, it says, and they all with one consent began to make excuse, you know? Yeah. To begin to make excuse, yeah. And we are hoping that this is you know, this don't happen to us, you know what I'm saying? That we don't make no excuses, you know what I'm saying? That we stay focused, you know what I'm saying, on this truth, you know? No matter what we do, you know? Yeah. You know, and just like, you know what I'm saying, like the man in Luke 9:59, he said, let me go and bury my father. You know what I'm saying? We can't be like this. We can't have the spirit like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially when his father was already gone. You know what I'm saying? The spirit already went back to the Most High. So we supposed to, you know what I'm saying, you know, stay focused, you know what I'm saying, you know, And that's the key thing, you know what I'm saying? We supposed to stay prayed up, you know, and whatever is so crazy, tell them, the Son of Man, the Most High, that they have, taken care of this land. Worry about the things of this world that don't matter, you know what I'm saying? That's what we don't supposed to worry about, the things of this world, And most of these people in this world, they're gonna do that, you know what I'm saying? But they don't realize, man, their time is running out. So if they don't hearken to this truth, it's going to be too late. You know what I'm saying? Let's read it back. Let me read that back again. Verse 18. For many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you, even weeping, that they are the enemies. The enemies. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in the wrong Slocky. I was supposed to be in Luke. Slocky. That was my fault. I was supposed to go back to Luke. Let me start back up. Verse 18. 14, verse 18. Slakia. And it says, and they all with one consent began to make excuse. The first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must needs go and see it. And I pray thee have me excuse. Yeah, slacky about that. But yeah, like I said again, what I'm saying? We don't need to be making excuses, what I'm saying? We need to stay focused on this truth. And no matter what we do, that's what's important, what I'm saying? Because most of these people, man, they're going to keep on, carrying on what the world is doing. Verse 19, and another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them. I pray thee have me excused. Yeah, see? And this sounds just like, this man had like a business, what I'm saying? He was trying to attend instead of, following Yahweh Shem Shai, And this is what, most of these people do here, in this world. They put their trust in the things of this world. They're storing their treasure up on earth, but we're storing our treasure in heaven, you know what I'm saying? And what it boils down to is you can't have no excuses. You know what I'm saying? You gotta just basically straight to the point, man. You gotta let this place go, man. This verse 20. And another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. Verse 21. So that the servant came and showed his Lord Yahweh Shem Shai these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and halt and the blind. Yeah, so, and the master of the house, is Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? Being angry at the servant, for making nothing but excuses, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what they had. They was just basically coming with number excuses and everything, and that's what these people just do today. You know what I'm saying? They come with none but dumb excuses, man. And what the scriptures say, and this is who he is being brought in, the poor, man, and those that are taking heed to the sincere milk, which is the elect. You know what I'm saying? Like I said again, we're taking heed to this. You know what I'm saying? We're sighing and crying for what's going on in this world, because this world has to go, man. This world is just nothing but, foolishness, you know what I'm saying? And it's foolishness to the Most High, you know what I'm saying? To Yahweh Shem Shai, And that's why, like I said again, that's what Lot wife did. She looked back, you know what I'm saying? Because she loved the foolishness of this world. Verse 22, and the servant said, Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. And that is why, the Akim is on the four corners right now, prophesying to wake up, the hopefully elect, trying to bid them to the marriage, you know what I'm saying? And that's what's important. Nothing, this truth is way more important than anything, you know what I'm saying? Verse 23, and the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. Yeah. And like I said again, that's what the Akim is doing, man. They're pushing this truth, you know what I'm saying, on the highways and the byways, You know what I'm saying? Trying to wake up the hopefully elect to come in. You know what I'm saying? So we can get the hell out of here, man. This place has got to go, man. You know, and then look up that word compel. You know what I'm saying? This place is nothing but, you know, this place will drain you, man. It will completely just drain you. It will completely bug you out. You know what I'm saying? And there's no rest in this place. They just constantly keep working you, man, but you don't have no time, you know, even to yourself, man, or even to nothing, man. The truth, your family, or even to yourself, man, because Esau, all he does is care about himself, man. You know what I'm saying? With this fake fiat, you know, money. You know what I'm saying? That's what his main objective is, just to keep you, you know, lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? And let's go to, it says G3:15, and Nagat Kazo, Anakazo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It says to necessity, compel, drive to constrain, by force, threats, by permission, entreaties, by other means. You see? So we are here to constrain you with these words, you know what I'm saying? To wake you up, you know what I'm saying? To basically stop making all these excuses, man. To let you know, hey man, you got a short time, so it's best for you to get right and come back to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You know what I'm saying? And it means by force, constrain, threats. That is what, you know, like I said again, what the Akim is doing, you know what I'm saying? You know, you can't be, you know, soft with Jake, man. You gotta be firm with Jake, man, because Jake is not gonna get it. You gotta bring it rough with him, you know what I'm saying? Because Jake will Jake will just make numb excuses, and that's what our people do today, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? The Most High is gonna do away with you niggas, man. You know, just because you don't take heed to this truth, you know, and you don't have to, you know. You know, you got a special place for your ass. Verse 24, Luke chapter 14, verse 24. For I say unto you that none of those men which have bid should taste of my supper. Yeah. So you see, so if you refuse to listen and come back to your power, man, you know what I'm saying? This is your true heritage. You know what I'm saying? You're going to perish, man. You know, that's just point blank, right along with these other nations. You know, and it says you're not going to be able to taste the supper, man. You know, you're going to be destroyed here, right here in, you know, Babylon the Great, which is AKA America, man. You're going to be destroyed. So you can keep on with your foolishness, man. You know what I'm saying? Just keep on being a nigga like you been forever. And then you're going to see. Let's go back to verse 24 again. For I say unto you that none of those men which were bidden should taste of my supper. Verse 25. And there went great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brother and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. You know what I'm saying? So this is straight to the point, man. You know, putting off the world, man, and following Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That's the most important thing, man. You know, but most people can't do that. They can't, you know what I'm saying, you know, give up the things of this world, you know what I'm saying, because they worrying about what their father gonna say, what their mother gonna say, their cousin, you know what I'm saying, their wife, their children, you know what I'm saying, their sister, instead of following Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You know what I'm saying? But see, the Akim is trying to bid you to this marriage, man, which is the most important thing, is your salvation. You know what I'm saying? It says, you know, work out your salvation, fear and tremble. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing, paraphrasing. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have that much time, man. Let's go to Sirach 5 and 7. You don't have that much time, so you have to get your mind right and make that move real quick. You know, Sirach chapter 5, verse 7. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly should the wrath of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. Yeah. So see, if you don't tarry right now and put off day by day, don't worry about the things of this world and come back to Yahweh Shema Shai. If you don't do that, like the scriptures say, you know what I'm saying? Suddenly should let that wrath of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai come forth. And it's going to come forth on y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be destroyed, you know. And in the latter days, man, you're going to perish, man. And Yahweh Shema Shai, he going to get his vengeance, man. Since you didn't want to take heed and listen, man. So that's why I say, man, let the dead bury the dead, man. Don't worry about, you know, if somebody passed away, man, you know, a family member, a friend, or a co-worker, man. Hey, the spirit is already gone, man. Just keep on pushing this truth, man. That's what matters, man. And I'm going to end off on this right here, Matthew chapter 19, verse 29. You know. It says, and everyone that have forsaken houses of brothers or sisters or fathers or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. So you see, so if you forsake all this, man, you know, pretty much all this materialistic stuff, man, not worrying about what your family gonna think about you, your father, your mother, your wife, your children, even the things of this world that's in this, in you know, the land. You know what I'm saying? He said for him, for Yahweh Shema Shai's sake, he gonna give you 100-fold. You know what I'm saying? You gonna inherit everlasting life, man. Do you want to stay here in this place, man, or do you want to inherit everlasting life? I want to inherit everlasting life, man. So that's why I came on the four corners of this earth, man, pushing this truth, trying to wake up the hopeful elect, man. So we can get the hell out of here, man. And the best thing to do is, man, let the dead bury the dead. So I hope this was edifying. This is your brother Dawadah. Come on, another lesson. I want to say Shalom. I want to say call all y'all by Shem Shai by Shem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishop at Great Millstone that ruled well, that taught us this truth, the 100% truth, and to the man that taught them. Peace and blessings to the hopefully elect on the four corners of the earth, risking their lives each and every week on the highways and the byways, pushing this truth, and to the brothers and sisters tuning in for edification. Shalom.